Hello, and welcome to the Sexuality and Gender and Manga podcast, where we apply a critical and academic lens to depictions of human sexuality and gender as they manifest in the medium of manga. I am Ren. I hold a degree in psychology from the University of Waterloo with a minor in sexuality, relationships, and family studies, and I volunteer with the Sexual Assault Support Center in the field of crisis intervention. I don't know why. I've done this so many times, I never tongue-clicked, but here we are.
You did a finger guns.
I did a finger guns. My partner on this pod, and in life and love in general, is Dr. J. Andrew DeMann, an associate professor of teaching at St. Jerome's University, and an Eisner Award-winning comic scholar who studies and teaches manga at the university. And don't laugh at me. I'm supposed to put razzle-dazzle on
You did,
it.
thank you.
I did. So much razzle-dazzle.
So today we are doing a bit of an iconic manga in JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. By way of introduction, JoJo's Bizarre Adventure by Hirohiko Araki began its publishing run in 1987 in the pages of Weekly Shonen Jump. Currently, it comprises 9 stories, each featuring a different titular JoJo, 138 tankobon, 190 episodes of anime adaptation, with more coming, a movie, merch, infinite memes,
so many memes,
and most importantly, a cult following as a deeply queer, deeply beloved manga property. Araki also quite literally wrote the book on making manga. His work, Manga in Theory and Practice, was published 10 years ago, yet remains a mainstay on comic scholarship bestsellers lists to this day, sometimes even charting higher than books about Chris Claremont by sheltered Canadian authors. Excuse me, that's a typo. It should say always charting higher. Always. Regardless, it is safe to say that JoJo is a legendary manga, and it is quite necessary that our podcast arrive at it sooner or later.
You really just had to be like, oh, my book's great.
I was humble brag. I was like, my book never charts higher than this book that was written 10 years ago.
I don't think that's a brag or humble.
Well,
yeah, you might be failing there, buddy.
So, I think the main thing that I've wanted to focus on, I've talked to you about this with JoJo, is queer coding.
Yes.
Because queer coding is fascinating. Yeah, and even as a sometime linguist, queer coding is infinitely complex. And I don't know, I'm excited to see how 2 dudes with raging muscles and sometimes vampire masks.
Can you, as the straight man here, very briefly define queer coding for us?
No, but Vito Rossi can.
Oh my God.
In Rossi's famous 1981 book, The Celluloid Closet, to be coded gay is to be implicated as having or displaying stereotypes and behaviors that are associated, even if inaccurate, with homosexuality or queerness.
Woo.
Now, according to Kuan Kim, quote, "It is no secret that traits that were believed to be implicit in homosexuals were introduced by characteristics given to certain characters. For example, if a character on stage sashays over to the hero and talks with a slight lisp, a majority of the audience would assume the character was homosexual, even if not acknowledged consciously."
Sashay away, bitch.
So queer coding evolves out of social and institutional censorship, a vocabulary that indicates something that can't be stated outright. As any linguist will tell you, however, the signifiers of language can be adopted conscientiously in order to convey meaning. Think acting, where someone can put on an accent. Thus, with over a century of acknowledged practice behind it, and certainly a much longer history, the symbolic language of queer coding is now very complicated, containing all manner of layers of irony and performance to it. It's a simple concept on the surface. It's exceedingly complicated in how it's now mobilized and employed to a near endless assortment of purposes. Is JoJo queer coded? Yes, obviously.
Yeah.
But how the coding is created, what purpose it serves, and how it operates within the narrative is a much more challenging conceit.
Yes. Very brief aside. When you said put on an accent, all I could hear in my head was, you got to put on the gay. Which was a fun little thought. Yeah, JoJo queer coding, it's doing a lot We were discussing this off mic, the concept of hypermasculinity and having an excess amount of it, and then that being like just the most gay thing you could do.
Yeah.
The gayest, best thing you could do with your entire life to be the ultimate gentleman is to be hypermasculine and queer.
Yeah, get swole.
Get swole.
Get swole, get gay.
Get swole, get gay.
Yeah.
I need that on a shirt for when we go to the gym. Get swole, get gay.
Our gym is mostly old people. That might not go over well.
That's fine.
Okay.
Dude, I've already been hate crime. It's
this week.
This week, it's fine. They're already slut shaming me and calling me hot to trot. Whatever.
Folksy slut shaming.
Folksy slut shaming.
Yeah. So, if we look at the surface, JoJo's Bizarre Adventure is a story of two half brothers fighting over an estate. What's your problem? Why would you think it was gay?
I don't even think you could call it that on the surface without being just intensely gay about it. I'm so sorry. Like the gay is strong with this one.
Yeah. Where does it emerge though? How does it declare itself?
Yeah. So I think there's a lot there that we can kind of dissect and divulge in like a whole lot of different things. So one of the things that I kind of don't know that I would say it's a starting point, but it's where I'm gonna start because F it. Often in heterosexual spheres, as much as there is power struggle in inherent sexuality, it's a very clearly scripted one. I think this prototypical heterosexual power play is that the men are dominant and women are submissive. And if that role is switched, it's through a great deal of seduction and guile and feminine wiles, as it were, and deceit. Yep. Whereas the thing that we're witnessing between these two half brothers that are not related at all, between these two strangers forced together into a meet cute that was very violent, we see them struggling for power. Yep. And I do think that it is inherently sexual in some ways, like the way they go from enemies to lovers to enemies. Where they start off on a very, very sour note and very abusive towards each other and hateful. And then you see them in the future. Time skip. And they're like bestest buds. And you're like, how did this happen? What? But then they still secretly don't trust each other. And then, yeah, I don't know. So I do think part of what makes it queer is that we are exhibiting and watching a power dynamic that we don't typically see play out in heterosexual narratives. Yeah,
I think that's a really good point. Like, we talk about heteronormativity a lot, the idea of how culture sort of forces alignment to a straight ideal. But heteronormativity, as you've stated, is like a lot more than just not being gay. Yeah. Like it has a lot of it, I don't know what we want to call it, a lot of strings attached. There's certain things you have to do.
Roles
certain
and
values you have to have. Yeah,
yes,
exactly. And I think JoJo kind of pushes against that in a lot of ways that I find really interesting. For again, a pretty. I mean, I don't want to say old because it's not that old, but it's been around for a long time, and it was operating within a very homophobic culture for a lot of its run.
Yes, it was. I think one of the things I also kind of want to point out here is that some people might make the argument that JoJo is reinforcing heterosexual norms in some ways, because we do see straight relationships play out, and in a lot of different ways, especially early on, those straight relationships are very much adhering to the heterosexual norms. But importantly here, they're like not important at all. Pretty much every single like segment of JoJo is boy leaves girlfriend for epic journey where he learns the power of male friendship and has super strong bonds with other men, and eventually I guess he kind of goes back to his girlfriend if he has to.
Yeah. Society's not ready.
Society isn't ready.
I really like the scene where Dio forces himself upon JoJo's would-be girlfriend and is like, this is the first kiss. And then she, because she's a badass, puts like mud in her mouth and is like, haha, doesn't count. But like the ways in which that's kind of queer coded in itself, Dio's action of like, I'm going to effectively block this hetero romance that JoJo is having. It put simply, it seems like Dio is trying to kiss JoJo through JoJo's girlfriend.
Yep. Indirecto kiss.
Yeah. So again, I think there's some really kind of cool layers to it.
I don't know why I put the why'd I put the accent on that for?
You're allowed. We were talking about accents.
Oh, we were talking about putting on the gay.
Putting on the gay.
Putting on the gay.
I'm not sure that was it. Put on something.
Put on something. Yeah, no, it is definitely an indirect kiss in a lot of different ways, and like the way in which Dio aggresses upon JoJo is incredibly possessive as well.
Yeah, that's a good piece of it.
And that's like a toxic aspect of the narrative. But he is in a lot of ways marking his territory. He's saying that like JoJo's life is his to control in all aspects of it. And when any aspect of that control is removed from him, like with the mud thing that you're talking about, it irritates him intensely to the point of violence. And you know what? What a vibe.
Yeah, and I
he's
think
crashing out over his boyfriend not wanting him back.
Pretty much. I think you spoke to it already once again, the idea that these violent eruptions have a sexual undertone to them.
They do.
When they're fighting, when they're grappling with each other, like it's hard not to imagine them grappling in other ways with each other. It seems like it's a what's the word? A sublimation.
Yes.
Yeah.
I really gotta stop with the sounds today.
Yeah.
I'm doing too many. Too many.
No, you don't. You can keep going.
The ways in which they fight each other is very similar in some ways to Dragon Ball style. Not in terms of the way that it's drawn, but in terms of the effect it has, where they are having these very intense scenes. They're making direct eye contact.
Yeah.
They are each other's sole focus. Their bodies are framed in a way that is very emphasis on the body. And there is a lot of undertone there of like high stakes, high risk, high reward. But then also like there's often shared intimacy in like weird regards that like don't make sense but do. Like for example, Dio actually kind of does the first time he fights JoJo penetrate him, and it's through his eye socket, but I'm gonna count it.
Yep. You're allowed.
Okay. It's weird, but no one else really notices that happens, and it would have been considered ungentlemanly had someone actually seen that happen. So it's this like shared secret almost.
I also kind of like, and I think this might be a part of it, and you can tell me if I'm misreading this. I like the way Dio is sort of corrupting this idyllic JoJo. Do you know what I mean? Feeling like Dio introduces, I don't know what I want to say, naughtiness into JoJo's life. And that feels very sexual to me. I know there's a better terminology for it. But that again, here's this perfect man who has everything going for him. And I'm going to show him a different side of the world. To me, that feels very queer apprentice-y. In the way
in the most brutal way possible.
Exactly. And again, like I'm not going to say that this is
healthy
queer coding.
Yeah, no, not necessarily. I would argue that later on it gets very healthy in ways I love. But the relationship initially between Dio and JoJo is definitely hashtag toxic.
Yes, for sure.
Baby,
there's some murder. That's not how the song goes.
I know, but I don't want to get copyrighted.
So you mentioned Dragon Ball. I'll use this as a segue to do my history of queer manga. It's there at the outset, basically. Princess Knight, we've talked about it before, Osamu Tezuka. It has a lot of queer content to it. I would argue even more direct than what we see in JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. But I do think, and this is something we can talk about as well, that JoJo's Bizarre Adventure being kind of like subversive is actually a point of appeal.
Yeah.
I think that's an important aspect.
I agree.
One of the important developments is actually the Year 24 group in the 1970s with Moto Hagio, famous for Heart of Thomas, which developed the idea of actually portraying queer relationships, or at least as close as you can get.
Oh my God.
Exactly. But
letting the gays exist?
Letting the gays exist. Mostly. Not. They couldn't go that far.
Well, damn.
But one of the things they did create was a visual aesthetic, and that aesthetic is very present in Araki's work, which I think is one of the ways that it signals its queerness to longstanding manga readers who would look at it and be like, oh, that's totally Moto Hagio with the body of Fist of the North Star.
Yeah. Well, I mean, there's gay culture and everything, right? Like the things queer people are drawn to are vast and numerous and very fun.
Yeah.
So much glitter. It's so true.
You're not wrong.
It's a stereotype. But
later JoJo iterations lean into that.
So they do. So they do. My point is, there is definitely ways in which, as much as it seems like something like wild and almost stupid to say in a way, there are ways in which the art is in itself inherently gay.
Yeah.
Not necessarily in terms of like, you can't draw a line in a way that's gay. At least not that I checked. Last I checked, I don't think that was part of my art courses.
Well, it wouldn't be a straight line.
Oh my God. Yeah, you're right, babe. It wouldn't. Congratulations. You're a dad.
Yep.
You made the joke.
It shows.
It does.
I have to dad code my podcast.
You have to dad code our podcast. Your podcast.
Did I let that slip? I've been trying to be quiet about that. My secret.
Bitch, you call this my podcast whenever we're around friends. Yeah, but as much as there's not a way to like make art inherently gay, there are cultural associations with styles that are gay, or like fashion, for example, which plays a huge role in the work here. There is a lot of fashion inspiration that is taken directly from like Paris Fashion Week and like a lot of different fashion shows that are shown. You can see the author being interviewed and talking about his different creators, and you can look at the fashion and the runways that they do and be like, that's JoJo.
Yeah, on that's kind of what I wanted to add, and maybe it's not worth adding at this point because you kind of hit on it, but like, it's not just reflecting fashion. Araki's creating fashion with JoJo.
Oh, for sure.
There's a JoJo look, and it is distinctly JoJo.
I love it. And then you can do the JoJo
pose.
Pose. JoJo. Sorry. I love that song, unironically. No, but then there is also that emerging sensation where like people do JoJo poses that the author thought were originally impossible.
Yep. They're making it work.
And they're making it work. They're being heteroflexible in ways that were not anticipated. And like even the people who are drawn to JoJo are like often from the gay community.
Yeah.
Because it's
fiercely loyal.
Fiercely loyal to
JoJo to the work. Like its cult culture is just amazing.
Absolutely. And like it is very much a phenomenon that is inspiring different fashion trends as well.
Yep.
Both in terms of like the TikTok trend of the JoJo pose, but also like just generally speaking, you can see people dressing in that aesthetic in life.
Yeah, and I just want to like as a sort of manga note, manga is a medium that is pushed towards efficiency more than I would argue any other comics discipline I can think of. So for Araki to take the amount of time that he does and invest it into fashion, into illustrating the clothes, into giving them a texture and a life, like that's hard work that is not expected of him.
No, and also like contributes so much to the art style in the sense of understanding. For anyone who's not drawn clothing before, it's a bitch. Yeah. It's such a bitch.
It's brutal.
It's horrible.
It's the whole reason we have superhero costumes in tights, even though nobody wears tights. So they can just draw nudes and put lines on them.
Yeah. Pretty much. So for him to take that length of time and consideration into creating like this world building and culture.
Yep.
Right. And then on top of that, we also kind of see that like the main characters of JoJo dress very differently than the other people in the background.
Yep.
They are fashion icons even in the world that they are in, you know.
Yes. They declare themselves the protagonist.
They really do. It's very much that stereotypical, oh my god, you have protagonist hair, except it's their whole body.
Yeah, exactly.
Have you seen Polnareff?
No.
Oh my god, hold on. Brief pause in the podcast while we pull up. No, you need to.
Oh, dang.
Yeah! He's got a whole vibe going on. And look at how manly he's crying right there.
Uh-huh.
He's just, I'm gonna make you watch so much more JoJo's, just so you know.
Okay.
In fact, that's what we're doing later tonight.
I mean, so you did introduce me to JoJo.
I did!
And like I was aware of it culturally, but I had never actually watched it. And it's
so good.
It's also like really over the top in a way that I think contributes to its
theatrical.
Yeah, maybe that's
which is also kind of a little stereotypically gay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I mean, we talk about this a lot in queer studies. The idea that because queer culture is maligned, it often has to declare itself more openly.
Very true. But then also there's kind of a point I want to touch on from a slightly different, like more societal perspective. Mm-hmm. The reason I think a lot of, although maybe not in the case of JoJo's pretty out there in terms of emotionality. It's very intense.
I kind of love that about it.
Oh, it's so good. It makes me so happy. However, a lot of the things that people would consider hyper-emotional in queer coding or theatrical in queer coding aren't, I would say, necessarily theatrical. They are outside of the emotional paradigm of what is allowed to be acted and expressed.
Yes, possibly a part of heteronormativity there, too.
Possibly a part of heteronormativity, which is why I think it is such a huge part of queer coding to have emotional displays that are big and huge, because that is very much frowned upon in heteronormative society. To have personality and to take up space in that way, especially in a way that is considered odd or bizarre or just not understood, queer as it were.
Yeah.
I'm using all the words except for the one that is the direct parallel. But for people to act in that way is inherently disruptive of stereotypes. And JoJo is doing a lot of that, especially in the way that it portrays its male characters, and later on female characters as well, in very different ways, which we'll get to. We'll watch all the things.
So Bombast is an act of rebellion. That's kind of cool.
Yeah, I think so. I think especially when you consider the historical roots of the queer community, very much we were told to not exist. And so
don't take up space.
Don't take up space. Just hide it.
Yeah, don't ask, don't tell.
Don't ask, don't tell. Have like these little signifiers, like wearing a bow tie during certain eras, or alternatively
shaved eyebrow.
the eyebrow slit. You don't know how subtle that one is. But
guarantee you, my mom wouldn't catch it.
Really?
Guarantee you.
I think she would. Okay. I think she'd have concerns about it. Her. Is this how you convince me to cut a slit in my eyebrow before we see your parents this weekend? Because I'll do it.
I know you would. So, coming back to JoJo and the concept of, I mean, there's two things we could talk about I think are really interesting. One is the concept of subversion that I mentioned, and the other is just sort of the importance of JoJo's existence to a queer audience and what it's meant. Because as I said, it was in there really early in terms of queer representation. In manga, okay. But in anime, holy crap.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like it's maybe one of the first obviously queer anime.
Ooh, can we talk about something else that's manga specific?
Sure, please.
I think is disruptive as well. And we've talked about this off mic and you hate it. I really like the way that he uses the color orange as a trichromatic scheme.
Okay.
And I think that is inherently subversive.
That's interesting.
Yes. Also, I'm just a hoe for orange. It's my favorite color. I love it.
I'm an aesthetic baby, and I only go for trichromatic blue.
Yeah, because you suck.
Or
you were enforcing stereotypes.
Because This One Summer by Marco and Gillian Tamaki was just that good.
It's so good.
It's my favorite graphic novel.
And it deserves to be. It was really fantastic. But I really do think it brings that sense of drama and flair that Araki is trying to bring to JoJo in the first place.
Yeah,
I think it is
right.
I know I am. Oh my god. Thank you. Wow. It brings that sense of flair and life to it that would not be captured with the color blue that you are so attached to.
Yep.
And like, could he have done other colors that were not blue? Potentially, yes. Like, he could have gone with green, but I feel like that would have been more mellow, you know? The orange really captures the vibrancy and the passion of JoJo.
Yep.
I would maybe accept a red or a purple. But I really do like the orange. I fuck with it.
I'm going to have to actually support you at this point.
I know.
So
I'm so sorry.
Everything you're saying I agree with now, which makes me mad. But also the orange, even my complaint that I find it a little bit garish, that kind of supports the bombast.
Heteronormative fuck.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Like, again, it has to be quite literally flamboyant.
It does.
Yeah.
Literally.
So you win.
I do.
You win podcast.
Ooh. Do we get an award? Do we get a medal?
I mean, you've seen the standards by which we uphold our studio.
Yeah, we're in the closet right now. Our recording studio is a closet with chairs. Oh, God. At least we have chairs this time.
At least we brought chairs in this time.
Yeah, oh my God.
Look at us.
I'm so much more comfortable.
Okay, so.
Final thoughts?
I kind of first want to talk about JoJo's subversion.
Yeah, go ahead.
I feel like it's a Chekhov's gun at this point. We've mentioned it twice. We got to do it.
Yeah.
So I think JoJo being subversive has a lot of value. It's not just a good story. It's something that declares itself as almost a social object, a club that people belong to, people who get it and people who don't get it. And I'm not looking at Ren right now in case she's giving me eye contact that I don't get it. And I'm not in this club.
An apt choice.
Because of some choices that I've made. So I do think there's a very strong cultural function just to JoJo's existence. Like even irregardless of whether good story, bad story, good drawing, bad drawing. I think it's something that people orient around. And I'm not cheap-shotting Araki. I think Araki's obviously incredibly talented. I'm just saying it exists outside of that talent property for me.
I was about to say, bro, don't come for the fashion. It's serving.
Oh,
it's giving.
Name better fashion in manga.
Oh yeah, no, you can't.
Yeah, exactly.
No, I do think it's really important. I do think part of the reason it's had so much staying power is because of the subversion that it has, and because, as you talked about, it's created this loyal community and following. don't put that in. Maybe do. It's kind of funny. I had to adjust. But it's had that consistent community and following because it's been subversive, and the people who like it love it.
Yep.
And are very strongly attached to it. But it also has that effect that you're talking about, where if you don't get it, you just really don't get it.
Yeah.
And, is that the gay straight divide? Not entirely.
I mean, I think it's in play.
It's definitely in play.
Yeah. All right.
It's okay to be gay.
I don't know what we're saying, but
I don't know either.
I can harmonize. All right. Final thoughts on JoJo's Bizarre Adventure.
I love it.
Yep.
Unabashedly. I think it's doing a lot in terms of influencing culture, but very specifically also queer culture.
Yep.
In terms of the fashion standards that are exhibited and the ways in which it is pushing fashion. But then also displaying, in some ways, toxic and or healthy masculinity and what healthy emotional relationships between men can look like. And I really love that. Like, there's a sense of brotherhood there. If you want to be straight about it, there's a sense of gayness there if you don't want to be about it. It's so gay. And I really, really love all of those components about it. I think it is honestly a masterpiece, but it is one that is not going to be appreciated by everyone.
Yeah. I think for me, I'm kind of in the same boat. I will use the term iconic for JoJo because I think it's a very literal representation of what that term's supposed to mean. It is something that is immediately distinct. It's something that has that auteur element to it. It's something that has a cult following, as we talked about, something that's been pushing boundaries at a time when those boundaries weren't being pushed.
It is so iconic that I would probably beat your child at an anime quiz about that if it came up. If it was like showing a clip of JoJo. No, I would know.
Okay. That's good.
Your child knows too much about everything.
She does. It's kind of rad.
It's so rad.
Can I announce our next unit? Because I'm excited about our next unit.
Yes, although I don't remember what it is.
Do you want to guess?
No.
If I sang, would it help?
Maybe.
Fighting evil by the moonlight.
Sailor Moon! Oh, my roommate can recite the first verse of that.
In Japanese. Whipped that out at karaoke. None of us were ready.
Yeah, no one was ready. That was a fun birthday.
Where did that come from? But okay.
It was great. Yeah, Sailor Moon.
Sailor Moon. So
was that worth the hype?
Was it worth the hype? We'll have to see.
We'll have to see. I'm excited. I've never actually engaged with Sailor Moon before, so now I'm gonna have to have opinions about it.
It's in the same era as JoJo. Equally iconic, I would argue.
Can we be wild and talk about Madoka immediately afterwards?
Yes.
Yes. Sorry.
Madoka is I've heard Madoka described as the Watchmen of the magical girl genre, and that has always stuck for me.
It's so good.
Yeah. Okay. Sailor Moon.
Sailor Moon, and then Madoka. I have demands now.
Okay.
Bye. Thanks for listening. Have a great day, or don't. I don't know. It's up to you. You're so mean. Oh my god.